Okay, picture this. It's 1996. Marvel Comics, the creators of Spider-Man, X-Men and Hulk, were totally broke, bankrupt. It was a total shocker, like finding out your sweet old grandma secretly wrestles alligators. How could the House of Ideas run out of money? It was a dark day for nerds everywhere. Imagine the headline: Spider-Man swings into financial ruin, or X-Men days of future bankruptcy. The company that created these larger-than-life heroes was on the ropes. It was like watching Captain America pawn his shield for bus fare. The mighty Marvel was facing its own real-life supervillain financial oblivion. This wasn't just some minor setback, this was the big one. People were freaking out. Would their favorite characters just disappear? Would the stories stop? Marvel, the name synonymous with superheroes, was itself in need of a super rescue. But hey, you know what they say about heroes, right? They get knocked down and then they get back up. This was Marvel's ultimate underdog story starting to brew. So while 1996 was a total dumpster fire for Marvel, it also set the stage for one of the most epic comebacks in entertainment history. So, what caused this epic faceplant into the pavement of poverty? Well, one of the big culprits was the comic book market itself. In the early 1990s, comics were hotter than a human torch. Everybody was buying them. Not just to read, oh no, people thought comics were going to make them rich. They were buying stacks of them, thinking they were like gold bars with staples in the middle. Shiny covers, holographic covers, die-cut covers, you name it, they printed it. The problem was this created a massive bubble. Publishers, including Marvel, were printing millions of copies of these special issues. They'd have like 5 different covers for the same comic, and people bought all 5. It was nuts. But when everyone has a rare comic, guess what? It's not rare anymore. Suddenly all those comics people hoarded were just paper. And then, pop! The bubble burst. Collectors realized their precious stacks of comics weren't going to pay for their kids' college. The market got flooded, prices plummeted. This comic book crash was a major factor in Marvel's journey to bankruptcy court. But wait, there's more. As if the comic book apocalypse wasn't bad enough, there was another bubble bursting around the same time. Remember Marvel trading cards? Oh yeah, those were a thing. Little cardboard rectangles of joy featuring your favorite heroes and villains. Spider-Man, Wolverine, Venom, Doctor Doom, they all had cards, and just like comics, these cards got super popular in the early 90s. People collected them, traded them, put them in fancy plastic sleeves. The companies making these cards, including Marvel's own card lines, went into overdrive. They printed bazillions of them. The market got totally saturated. And then, just like with the comics, the trading card market went kablooey. The bottom fell out. The value of most cards dropped faster than a wingless wasp. It was another financial gut punch for companies involved in that market. And Marvel definitely felt this one too. Their 2 big streams of merchandise income were drying up simultaneously. So, Marvel's down for the count, broke, busted. Their comics aren't selling like they used to. Their trading cards are yesterday's news. What's a nearly bankrupt superhero company to do? Well, they looked west to Hollywood, La La Land. They still own these amazing characters, right? Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk, Fantastic Four. Maybe, just maybe, movies could be the answer. Their first big strategy wasn't to make movies themselves. Instead, they started licensing out their characters, selling the movie rights to different studios. 20th Century Fox got the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Sony Pictures grabbed Spider-Man. New Line Cinema took a chance on Blade. Universal had some Hulk rights. And you know what? Some of these movies actually worked. Blade, starring Wesley Snipes, was a surprise hit in 1998. But while these movies were making bank for Fox and Sony, Marvel only got a small licensing fee. Section 5, taking control, Marvel's big movie gamble. Seeing their characters make fortunes for other studios got the gears turning at Marvel. Specifically, for guys like Avi Arad and Kevin Feige, they started thinking, why are we letting other people have all the fun and all the money with our heroes? What if Marvel made its own movies? What if they controlled the creative vision? What if they built their own universe? It sounded crazy. They were still recovering from bankruptcy after all. To make their own movies, Marvel needed to become a movie studio. They needed infrastructure. They needed talent. And most importantly, they needed money, lots and lots of money. They made a super risky deal with Merrill Lynch, a big investment bank. Marvel put up the movie rights to a bunch of their characters as collateral. If their movie plan failed, they would lose the rights to these characters. It was an all-or-nothing bet. If they won, they could build an empire. If they lost, that would be the real end of Marvel. They had one shot to prove they could do it. They weren't just betting the company's future. They were betting the future of these beloved characters on the big screen. They were going to build Marvel Studios. Section 6 Iron Man, the Golden Avenger, ignites the universe. Marvel Studios is a go. They've got their money, they've got their ambition. Spider-Man, nope, Sony had him. Wolverine, Fox had him locked down. They chose Iron Man. Yeah, Tony Stark. Back then, Iron Man wasn't a household name. He was more of a B-list hero. They cast Robert Downey Jr. RDJ was making his own comeback. Casting him was a gamble. But Jon Favreau saw something. He knew RDJ was Tony Stark. The stars were aligning. This was a movie built on brave choices. In 2008, Iron Man hit theaters. Bam! It was a smash hit. People loved it. The movie was smart, funny, action-packed, and had heart. RDJ embodied Tony Stark. The special effects were amazing. It was everything you could want in a superhero movie. It proved Marvel Studios knew what they were doing. But the biggest surprise, Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, talking about the Avenger initiative. Section 7, assembling the universe, more heroes, more awesome. Iron Man was a massive success, but Marvel didn't just sit back and count their money. They had a plan, a grand, ambitious, multi-movie plan. Kevin Feige, the mastermind behind it all, envisioned a shared universe, just like in the comics, where heroes coexisted, fought together, and sometimes fought each other. This had never really been done in movies before on this scale. The success of Iron Man gave them the confidence and the cash to keep building. Next up, they had to introduce more heroes. In 2008, the same year as Iron Man, they released The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. It was okay. Then in 2010 came Iron Man 2, which further teased the Avengers, and in 2011 things really kicked into high gear. They introduced Thor, the god of thunder from Asgard, and then Captain America the First Avenger, a World War II period piece. Each movie was a piece of the puzzle. Each one had its own story, its own flavor, but they all existed in the same world. And those post-credit scenes, they became legendary, teasing what was coming next. They were carefully, patiently, laying the groundwork for something truly epic. And then, in 2012, it all came together with The Avengers. Section 8. The House of Mouse comes knocking, a deal you can't refuse. So Marvel Studios is flying high, higher than Iron Man with a new suit. They've got hit after hit. The Avengers is a worldwide sensation. They're making billions of dollars. They've built this incredible interconnected universe of characters that people absolutely adore. They went from bankrupt has-beens to the kings of Hollywood in just a few short years. It's the kind of comeback story that makes you want to stand up and cheer. Everyone in Hollywood was taking notice, and one of the biggest players taking notice was Disney, the Walt Disney Company. Disney is always looking for strong brands, for beloved characters, for franchises that can entertain families for generations. And they looked over at Marvel with its passionate fan base and its ever-expanding universe of heroes, and they saw something they wanted, something powerful, something that fit surprisingly well with their empire. Superheroes were becoming the dominant force in pop culture, and Marvel was leading the charge. Disney wanted in on that action. So in August 2009, Disney made its move. Section 9, a new empire, from zeros to billions Disney style. The offer from Disney, a cool $4 billion, that's billion, with a B, $4,000 million. For a company that was filing for bankruptcy just over a decade earlier, this was an astronomical sum. It was a testament to how far Marvel had come, how much value they had built with their characters and their new movie studio. From staring into the abyss to being valued at $4 billion. That's not just a comeback, that's a superhero-level resurrection, and then some. It was an offer that was pretty hard to ignore, and Marvel didn't ignore it. They said yes. In late 2009, the deal was done. Marvel Entertainment became a wholly owned subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company. Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and the whole gang were now part of the Disney family. Some fans were worried. Would Disneyfy Marvel? Would they tone down the heroes? But Kevin Feige and his team at Marvel Studios were largely allowed to continue their creative vision. Disney's acquisition didn't slow Marvel down, it supercharged them. It gave them an even bigger platform to tell their stories and expand their universe. The MCU continued to grow, becoming the highest-grossing film franchise of all time. From the brink of financial ruin in 1996 to a multi-billion-dollar Disney powerhouse, Marvel's journey is one of the most incredible turnaround stories ever. Excelsior! And who knows what amazing adventures are next.